Hello and welcome back to Heartland. I'm Isabelle,
And I'm Soile.
and we do have some updates, not too many this week.
Well, depends. We'll try to keep them brief, but let's just
Yeah,
go in. So Amber did when she was at the what's it?
Agribition.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
She did a podcast with Cowboy Shit, and it's out now. So I'm gonna link that in the YouTube description if you wanna listen to it. She apparently talked about flipping houses because that's something she does, and people were surprised that that's something she finds time for among other million
yeah,
things she has going on.
no kidding.
Lucian, who played Luke, is nominated for British Independent Film Association Award in the category Best Supporting Actor for his film Encounter that we mentioned a couple episodes ago. So
That's impressive.
yeah. And then Madison's movie The Last Christmas got awarded Best Canadian Short at the Canadian and International Short Film Festival. And it's also the official selection at the Hollywood Gold Awards. So, funnily enough, there's a screening to be held at Hudson Theaters LA on Boxing Day.
That's also impressive.
Yeah. And then Michelle posted this video on her Instagram about her work day. It's like come to work with me
Yeah,
for a day, and it's like 5 minutes long or something.
yeah. It's cool. It's interesting. The part I found funny is she like halfway through the video, she's like, "Hey, I had time before scene, so I went Christmas shopping." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Getting it done.
Yeah, so it was like I think said she got up at 7 and then she got home at 11 p.m. So
Long day.
that's okay. Yeah, it was cool. I hope she does more.
Yeah, that's interesting to see because with Heartland, she's obviously very busy, but since she has, I think, like a supporting role or something like that, so she has more time between scenes. Then True Davis, who plays Logan, has a new show called Mayor out on Paramount Plus. He's acting with Jeremy Renner, so that's also pretty huge. More new projects, like if you're a Christmas person and you have access to Lifetime TV. Cindy Busby's new movie, Toying with the Holidays, where she's acting along with Chad Michael Murray from One Tree Hill, is going to come out December 18th. So check that
I
out.
love One Tree Hill.
I haven't actually watched
You
it.
never saw it?
No, I was a little bit like older than like.
Yeah, it was like
I just like missed it. Like, yeah.
It was the show that it was probably besides Heartland that was like my number one show throughout high school. So it's kind of like a fangirl moment that Cindy gets to work with him.
Yeah. And it looks very like wholesome. So if that's your
I
thing,
might even watch it. Like I don't mind watching the cheesy ones if there's someone that I'm looking forward to seeing, I guess. And you just like put up with it. But
yeah. And it's kind of like the Christmas thing. Like, is
yeah.
there a movie that's not cheesy? That's like romantic comedy and
Yeah, see, that's not my genre, but yeah.
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 And then if there are any Brazilians out there listening, and in case you haven't noticed, Netflix has notified that Netflix Brazil will remove seasons 1 to 6 on December 31st this year. So they're gonna keep season 7 to 14 up, but I think for the first 6 seasons their license is up.
Yeah, that's what it must, because I was saying too, other shows on even Netflix Canada, like I was saying, Modern Family only have half the show.
Yeah.
And that's too, so.
It's kind of stupid if someone new is tuning in. It's like, well, I don't know what's happened till season 6. So that's the reason why I always buy the DVDs, because I don't want to rely on, someone else having that kind of power over me watching the show.
Fair. I don't even have a DVD player anymore. Like, I have the DVDs up to season 12.
Mm.
I don't have 13. Has 14 on DVD?
It's coming out in Australia sometime soon, but as for other countries, I think there's no word out yet about that. So I think there's a delay because of COVID.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten season 13 on DVD, which should be a huge shocker because for like 10 years straight, I would go on DVD release day to get
Yeah.
them.
But as for the last update I have listed, Aiden's live last Sunday. That was something.
That was a ride.
Michelle popped in for some time, and then he had Jen Grant there, the singer who sings the Heartland theme song, and then I don't know, someone else.
Canadian legend and icon Jan Arden, and the least expected person on the planet to be on the podcast. So my heart stopped, like actually stopped for a second. I did not see that coming. Aiden, you have to give a girl some warning. Gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, but he had her on so she could talk about the horse shit.
Hashtag horseshit.
Yeah, the project of
Live exportation
yeah.
of horses to go to the glue farm.
Yeah, because that was something they kind of talked about in episode 2 of this season, but not by name. So I'm glad that he expanded that whole thing, because I saw people saying things like, I had no idea, or I've never heard about this. So it's kind of like, I wish they would have done more with the show.
And I feel like Jan would be like the ultimate guest star to have on the show. You have to watch Jan. You have to, Soile. It's so funny.
And I'll add it to my list of endless things to watch.
No, please do. So when when Aiden said Jan should come on the show, and then was it Aiden or was it Jan who said and Rhonda? I about like passed out and threw up. You don't understand. Rhonda's my favorite character. Okay?
I have no idea who that is. So
I love Rhonda. She is me in about 40 years.
Okay, that sounds promising.
But anyways, I went through some other files to find the picture I took with Jan Arden when she asked me if I was drunk at the Canadian Screen Awards. Anyways, so I had a great time at the live. How about you?
Oh yeah, it was fun because it was kind of like a lot of musical people were involved, and the fans that got an opportunity to ask questions, they asked about Aiden's music. So I don't know if he planned that, but it just ended up being kind of musical number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you guess, because he played the Christmas song by Jan, like did you guess from that she was going to be on? Because I was like,
I didn't even realize it was her song. I'm not even gonna lie.
Big fan.
Her music is great, but like I know her more as like a comedian and now actress. Like when I heard about her show, I was really excited because at the time one of her executive producers, so I believe it's executive producer of Jan, Andrew Barnsley, was one of my professors at film school. And so he was talking to me about this project before it was even happening. So I'm a diehard, thank you.
Have you watched the new season
of Jan? No, because I don't have cable and I don't have CTV either. So I'm waiting for. So I'm the first. Is it 2 or 3? I don't remember how many seasons are out right now, but the first 2 are on Crave.
3?
3?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think Aiden said he was in season 1 and now in season 3.
Right. Okay. So I haven't seen season 3, but it's the first 2 seasons are on Crave, and I watch it daily. Like I've seen the first 2 seasons religiously. It's like the show that I'll watch before I go to bed because it's great.
Because
It's like my replacement for Schitt's Creek after Schitt's Creek ended.
I wonder, because he was on the show this season and he was working with Michael Bublé. So I wonder if that song that he played was the song that Michael Bublé and Chen did together.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't know because I haven't seen them. I'm really excited, but like I don't do previews. We're in the day and age where streaming's a thing, so I'd rather wait and binge the show without previews and commercials. Nobody got time for that. Okay, welcome to the comments of the week. That seems to be everyone's personal favorite at the moment. Okay, I cannot actually believe what's going on with Pam right now. Like, I was incredibly sarcastic about this, and I thought that they would pick up on that because they normally do. But the fact that we're friends, like, I literally went and unblocked Pam.
Is she gonna be here next week, or like, what's happening?
I don't know, but like, I like how she's just acting like I don't know what is happening right now.
It's the Christmas miracle, I'm telling you.
I'm gonna say, like, I've created peace within the nation.
Yeah, truly. Like I said to you, like Mother Teresa material.
Please. Okay.
For Nobel Peace Prize this week. This year is gonna be for you. See you in Sweden or wherever they
I am
do those.
So excited. There's these channels on YouTube that post these gossip videos like, will Ty come back from the dead? And in this case, there's one called Why Did Georgie Leave the Show? And I don't watch them, but I like to read the comments because people genuinely believe this stuff, and it's like I don't know.
It's like clickbait 101.
Yes. So I was just reading the comments, and some of them are just fairly interesting. Someone said, I have watched all 14 seasons of Heartland. To watch it without Ty is absolutely heartbreaking. Now, Georgie, you might as well start thinking about letting it end soon. It can't go on forever. Amy and the horses can't carry the whole show. And then someone underneath said, Heartland fans, we all miss Ty so very much, but stop asking for him to come back from the dead. Like this is some supernatural show. We're lucky Graham gave us 13 years, so give the guy a break. I'll always miss him, but I respect that he has a life to live off camera. Mallory is another one I still miss. And then underneath that, honestly, I don't understand why not wrapping up the series once and for all. It's getting worse and worse and more depressing. I was like, that's just such a variety. Under the same video, someone, Carlos said, are you serious? You must be affiliated to CBS. Season 15 is becoming embarrassing and destroying the name of a once great TV series, Heartland.
CBS.
Again, like, I know. Again, like most, it should have ended at season 13.
Okay.
Told you, I love the typos.
Yeah.
And then someone named Pamela said she's smart to leave, Heartland is over. And then underneath, Jack Hunter said, bring Ty back and let Heartland be Heartland, not Heart Lost, my opinion.
Was it Jack? Call Jack? Was he?
Jack Hunter. Yeah.
He's making rounds.
Like, I put it on our Instagram and I'm like, does this guy just hit copy and paste?
It's like 24/7, like find a video to comment.
His caps lock is also broken, so rest in peace. Okay, going on to Instagram. This is from Richard, the same Richard who comments every week. Not a fan of Michelle at all, but 7 was good. Episode 7. Okay. Now we're going to go to Richard's comment this week. Not a fan of Michelle at all. Don't want to get into drama, but tonight was really good. Great job, Amber, Jack, Tim, Jessica, and really all of you.
Don't want to get into drama sounds like you're
Yeah, he doesn't want to get into drama, but then he comments this stuff every week.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. This tweet later got deleted because me and Rachel responded.
Oh.
Kate Music 96 on Twitter, because we've blocked her on Instagram. Wow, it looks like the diva who controls heartless Miss Moaning Morgan, who is a complete cow, and it has to be about her, and nearly everyone is tired of her. And by nearly everyone, you mean you. That doesn't count. So,
Yeah, that's not a very big
yeah,
scope of people.
no. And, women, well, tearing people down in general is awful, but women tearing women down over things that you actually know nothing about.
Nearly everyone doesn't include 424,000 followers she has on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And, like, she's not the one who left the show.
Yeah,
So I
like
feel like she's the more successful one in this case. Thank you.
I think, I keep seeing a lot of comments about, dumping this kind of blame
Yeah.
on everyone. It's like, I wish people would understand that blaming others for someone else's decision is,
Yeah.
there's no point because they're not.
It's pretty low, honestly, because you don't even know what actually happened. I don't think any of
Yeah.
us will ever know.
It doesn't get you anywhere because what's happened has happened.
And I tweeted something back, something like, I hope you get what's coming to you for spreading hate on the internet, and then it got deleted. But it's like, it says more about these people than Michelle, because the way Michelle has reacted to the situation versus how the fans have reacted to the situation is very different.
Yeah, and it's also hypocritical of them to
Yeah.
say, like, you can't be nasty to others or something
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
when they're being nasty like
Yeah.
this, like calling names and stuff.
Double standard. But yeah, we don't tolerate any slander of Miss Michelle Morgan around here.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Michelle Nolden tweeted this, and it was just super random, but I wanted to read it. She said, "Can we just say mom jeans are not meant for actual moms who've birthed children at all, and can the crop top please disappear now? I'd like a sweater that meets my pants, please. I'm not trying on clothes again until this trend is gone."
I agree.
Stop. So I look down and I'm straight up wearing a crop top right now and high rise.
Like, I love that Winnie the Pooh is like rocking the crop top, but I'm no Winnie the Pooh, so I can't, like, I want my middle part of my body to be warm. Is that too much to
True.
ask?
This time of year, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my personal favorite of the week. This is a comment under one of Amber's posts. This is from William McGoon Jr. "Amber, I meant what I said. I would help clean up the debris from the windstorm. All I would want in return, a friendship, a trail ride, a sit and talk and tea. You're cooking. Heartland, 1508. So is Finn going to be Amy's new beau? Gee, is it Finn and Amy now? Anyway, the first part of season 15 has been okay. The second part of season 15 is getting better. Last week's episode, I loved seeing Lindy and Amy jamming away, cruising down the road. Amber, I have now spent 2,187 hours watching season 15 this year so far. I really would have helped you clean up the debris from the windstorm. Amber, I do love you, but I know you are married, so yes, friendship is all I could give friend to friend." Whew!
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, and it's making me a little uncomfortable, and yeah.
Yeah. And the last comment for this week has to do with the whole giveaway situation and the Graham fans, I guess, because I joked saying, like, hey, if, you Graham fans, like, I'm doing a Graham Mortal giveaway, basically. We can, like, claim peace, wave the white flags to have this giveaway happen.
Yeah.
And so I was talking about this conversation I had with Pam on YouTube last week about how I don't like Graham. It's not I love Ty, so that I don't like Graham. And then we basically ended it on a good note. And then she commented on this podcast, the newest one, and said, "Thanks, I'm glad I belong to your group. I did enjoy this episode. Isabelle cannot seem to find you on Instagram." Well, Pam, because I blocked you, But as of this morning, I hit the unblock button. So, is there peace in between the nations?
Yeah, the
I think so.
window or the door is open for that kind of,
Healing.
yeah.
Let the
So
world heal.
yeah, that's really something we need to see in these trying
Yeah.
times, and
Like, and I genuinely mean it too. Like, just like everybody chill.
yeah,
Let's just
like
go
yeah,
back to how it was. But
yeah,
yeah, I cannot believe this is happening, and I'm really, really happy about it. So, we're gonna talk about the giveaway at the end, so you guys know what
yeah,
we're talking about.
yeah,
But you do have to be following us. So, if you are someone that you know that I've blocked you, let me know somehow else, and I'll unblock you so that you can enter.
yeah. And we've gotten some entries so far already, and it's so fun to see into your worlds, and
Yes.
instead of us just sitting here and talking to each other.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed that, and keep those pictures coming. Before we get into the Instagram comments and our thoughts about the newest episode, we read the comment or review from Smoking Holsters. So this week we're going to talk about episode 8 called Brand New Day. Though I didn't say it, I agree last episode was excellently acted. In particular, Amber and Sean. Seems repetitious to me, I think, to mention their acting skills over and over after 15 years. Anyway, on to this episode. 14 minutes into this episode, I messaged, 40 minutes in, and I hate everything but 5 minutes of this episode so far. It's not that it was a bad episode in terms of acting, directing, kudos to Michelle, and cinematography. In the end, the lumberjack competition was, for the most part, fun to watch, but the storyline, I mean, really, with the exception of Amy working with Butch, and the Finn Amy storyline, the rest was just a complete repeat of storylines with new faces, and there's no other way to say it, shit no one wants to really see. Finn and Amy had some pretty perfect scenes. The depth of understanding between them in that scene in the barn was more boinan. How do you say that?
Spell
Poignant. Buoyant.
it. I don't know. Couldn't
Anyways,
tell you.
yeah, that's how you spell it. So figure it out. And honest and raw than any conversation she ever had with Ty. I was so taken by that scene that I wrote a one shot about them in 12 hours. I've seen people mention that it's too soon and use the fact that it took Amy and Ty 8 years to get it right. Actually, it took them 8 years to get married. They never got it right. By the way, I don't like Sam. I don't see a spark between him and Amy at all. Besides, he broke a cardinal rule of professional sports, especially baseball. You don't bet on baseball, period. It was great to see a farrier at work, and I'll say it again, Finn and Amy were great together. I really don't think anything will happen this season, but I really hope they don't drag shit out in season 16. I'm hopeful for at least one more with a rivalry threesome. How about two adults just getting to know each other and put the trauma elsewhere? That's something I can watch. It takes a second to say a vet checked out a horse rather than, I think, than just declaring it blind in one eye. Has he been losing his sight? And a vet said no. One day it'll be gone. You really don't even need to bring in an actor. Just say the words, any words. Can we lose Fred Garland altogether? Seriously, why is this guy in 2 episodes of the season? Caleb makes a lousy girlfriend. Why is it that every time he speaks to Amy, I think the words should be coming out of Cass's mouth? And where is Cass? Caleb's out on a Friday night with his bro? Was Katie lying, and are there really no babysitters in Hudson? She didn't come to the competition with his son to see Caleb compete? I get it, Caitlin was busy, but Caleb is not a substitute for a friend for Amy. And is Cass locked up at home or shackled to an exam table at the clinic or something? I mean, that happens with Lisa, so
Oh, for
could
sure.
be. And speaking of Lisa, Where was Lisa? At Lee's mansion? Evan Garland is chased. Shocker. Nope, the guy's a royal douchebag and sore loser. Will he ask Amy to work with his horse? Will he grab her and kiss her? Will he goad her into racing Spartan to teach him a lesson? Will he hurt his horse? I don't care or want to see him. He's completely uninteresting. What is the deal with the men on this show and jealousy and crutches? Is that what keeps them going? Hate? I'm done with surly, disapproving Jack. I mean, who doesn't think this stupid feud with Al won't spill over to Amy and Finn in season 16 if there is one? Is it just that without Ty, there's not enough drama for Heather? Seriously, the guy asked out your girlfriend 50 years ago? Really? Get the F over it. I like Tim and Jessica, I really do, but I'm done. Do they need to be in the rest of this season? Note to the Heartland husbands, don't marry a woman your daughter's age if you can't handle that they had lives before they met you and actually have energy. Dan and Lisa, the real estate agent in France, now Ezra. Seriously? Competing with guys half your age to prove what? Does anyone think Tim would beat Sam in anything non-rodeo related? And no, filming him winning doesn't make me believe. What next? Arm wrestling? They all did a great job with the script they had, but the storylines are really all old and feel tired and done in. That's what really needs to change.
Okay, Instagram comments. Let's go. HL Horses. I really liked this episode. Loved the competition as it was something very different we've never seen before. I also liked Michelle's directing. Two things that stood out to me were the shots from the horse's eyes and then the ending scene with Amy and Spartan. Also, we actually heard Georgie's voice in the previously on, which is the closest thing we will get to her in an episode this season, probably. I didn't even notice that, but I kind of skipped through it. However, kind of wish Amy had mentioned something to Lou about what happened last episode. I also really like how we got a Lindy mention this episode and a Marion one last episode. And oh my gosh, second embarrassment with Fred and Lou. He's so awkward, and I know him choking isn't funny, but I absolutely cracked up laughing when that happened because everything that could have gone wrong was going wrong on the date. They also actually mentioned where Katie was this time. Loved all the Amy and Lou scenes actually acting like sisters. Oh, and Amy is actually working with the client again, even though I wish there was more in that area. Tim's whole involvement in the competition was hilarious. First, the cramp scene with Jessica, then his reaction at the dinner table when Caleb was mentioned, then him going against Caleb directly, him beating both Sam and Caleb, and then the ice pack scene. Oh, yeah. Really loved Tim and Jessica's scenes. It was also funny that Caleb got stuck in Jack's reaction. It was cute that Lindy called Tim grandpa, and Caleb was so sweet to Amy at the pub. I also liked the pub scenes because, again, it was something different. I really like Sam, as I've said before, and I liked Finn too, but not Evan. Sam and Amy's interactions were good, and so were her and Finn's. I liked all the farrier stuff. I loved hearing more about Jack and Lindy's past and called what the problem was right when I saw they didn't like each other. Best line, if he swings and acts as well as he swings a bat, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Then Archibald Ganruby, or no?
I think so.
Yeah. That guy kind of looks like Amber's real life husband, Sean. And then Stephanie said, right? I thought I was the only one that thought that, and that's a nod to Finn, I believe.
Yeah. And I did kind of think that, and because Amber also posts in the past has posted photos of Sean working on her horse's feet. So there was similarities there.
Did you see what she posted on her Instagram
Yes.
story? Yeah.
Yes, wasn't it a friend of hers who played the stunt double for Finn?
Yeah, when they were doing the
It was her
farrier thing.
actual farrier, isn't it? Isn't that
Yeah.
what she said? I think so.
Yeah, her farrier called Mark, I believe.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Rippleish 20. That was another fantastic episode in my opinion. The lighting and editing have been so much better in these last two episodes. I don't know how much is attributable to Michelle, but I liked it. The kitchen was actually well lit for a change. Yes. We saw A lot more evidence Amy's starting to move forward with her life, and I thought both Sam and Finn had taken an interest in her. Sam gave her the look when he and Caleb were talking to them at the table. Meanwhile, Finn also seemed quite interested, Googling her, deciding to stay in the area, etc. I liked Finn and the actor who plays him. He reminds me a little of Sean, Amber's husband, too. When he was telling Amy maybe she needed to let herself be happy, it seems like he also has a backstory. Finding out the reason for Jack's animosity towards his grandfather Al was interesting, and it looks like Jack is not liking the idea of Finn and Amy becoming friends. Oh my god, I'm so excited for the possible storylines. Caleb's comments to Amy were really nice, but it's a little sad how he always ends up being the fool, so to speak. It is always interesting that it was also interesting that Evan was Fred's brother. I didn't see that coming when they were filming. The scene where Lou saves Fred was hilarious. I like how everyone clapped. Meanwhile, the Lou Peter saga continues, and I assumed they would explain it at some point, but now we know how Spartan is suddenly okay enough to enter an endurance race.
Then there's a comment from Gator Granny 46. It just says no for Amy.
That little comment triggered like 8 more.
Yeah. Smoking Holster said, "There's one in every crowd." And then Gator Granny replied, "Ty hasn't been gone that long. Marion never remarried." It's like what's the exclamation mark?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm
She's like yelling.
I'm getting an angry vibe because of that.
Yes. No, she's yelling.
Yeah. And then Smoking Holster said, "You're right. Amy should be lonely and miserable for the rest of her life. No need for intimacy or love beyond what her daughter can provide. And when the time comes for her daughter to leave Heartland, she should be satisfied with the faded memory of her dead husband and just wither away." Great storyline. I'd watch that show. And then I replied to Gator Granny, "Jack did remarry. He's happy with Lisa, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't have loved Lindy the same. There's a whole episode about it too, season 4, episode 12. Was it wrong of Jack to fall in love again? Does he not deserve the happiness Lisa brings him? To me, it seems unfair that others should have a say when someone has mourned enough and ready to move on. If Ty's death taught the characters anything, it's that life is short and unpredictable." And then Philda Boswell said to Gator Granny, "I agree. I admit that I haven't had the opportunity to see season 15 yet, but I did check out a few pics from Heartland's website. It literally blew my mind when I saw and heard from fans about Amy with Caleb. I cannot watch the series in full if Amy ends up with Caleb, Ty's best friend, who also threw Amy off the course with Ty only to show off when he didn't have any real feelings for Amy. But she fell for Caleb and literally ran off Ty, who went for Kid. I didn't blame Ty. That scenario went on for ages. I felt the script writers went overboard and was so happy when their script finally put Ty and Amy back together, but definitely had fun putting Kid in over and over. What really made me angry was when I found a public video produced by Graham Worrell with him and none other than Tatiana Maslany in the short video that can be seen on the internet. Who am I? That is a good question. And then Jenna said, "Marion did have another romance that we know about with Victor Whitetail. Just saying." And then I replied to Philda, "Caleb is married with a kid. He and Amy are friends. People just assume that comforting a friend when she misses her husband equals flirting. He's not vulturing around her. He talks about Cass and his kid all the time." And then Gator Granny said, "He said on his part, not hers." This is to Jenna. "She loved him as a friend only. Remember, he said her heart only belonged to one man, and that was Tim."
Yeah, because no one ever has lied about saying that someone's just a friend.
No, never.
That was a ride. Like, there was like 50 different topics set. But I did like how you brought in season 4, episode 12, my favorite episode of all time. Like, screaming, crying, throwing up is how much I love that.
Yeah, I just think that whole moment with Jack and Lisa, the one with like, I miss Lindy sometimes, but I love you all the time, or whatever it was. It's just like perfectly summed up, like those kind of, like, if you've had someone already in the past, you have that love for them still, but it doesn't diminish what you're feeling right now.
Yeah, well described. Stephanie's comment. Really great episode. Like last week, I really loved Michelle's directing. Thoughts on the episode? It was a really fun, lighthearted episode, which was nice after last week. I have to say, I really like this new character, Finn. He seems like a really nice guy. I especially liked that talk he had with Amy about not feeling guilty when she's having fun or good moments. I think that's so important for her character when it comes to moving forward. I hope he comes back. I would love to see a friendship form between them. The whole Lou and Fred storyline was equal parts hilarious and embarrassing. I felt secondhand embarrassment for Fred multiple times. The poor guy, he just wants a girlfriend. When he started joking at the bar, I actually laughed out loud. I know that might sound awful, but the whole scene was great. Also, I really don't like his brother. I hate how full of himself he is. The small moment between Amy and Caleb warms my heart. I love their friendship. The lumberjack competition was pretty fun to watch, and seeing Tim kick butt was pretty satisfying. Although I couldn't help but feel bad for Caleb, I wish he would have won at least one of the challenges. Tim and Jessica definitely had cute moments this episode. Lastly, I really liked seeing Amy and Lou getting along and acting like friends again. As always, I'm looking forward to next week.
And then No Context Heartland said, my brain isn't working well enough to form proper thoughts, but I just want to applaud Michelle's directing again. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, a woman of few words, but it makes so much sense. Becky commented. Now we have to talk about Becky for a second.
That was really touching and powerful, and I think that is something that needs to be heard by a lot of fans. In case you didn't watch Aiden's live, go watch it now. But to sum it up, Becky shared a very personal connection to the storyline in a way. She talked about losing her husband, I think it was 19 years ago or something like that, and how she could relate to what Amy was going through in season 14 and the grief, like how it comes and goes, and how it's been powerful to see that. And she also talked about finding a new man to love, and I believe she said they're been married for 15 years or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that, yeah.
And she said that her first husband was her soulmate, but it doesn't mean that she wouldn't love her current husband very much. And she has kids from the previous marriage, but also from this current one. And it's just like, for me, it was so nice to actually hear someone who has actually gone through that. Not that that's nice by any means, but like just that there's a level in the storyline that's very true, and it's important to show those sides of life as well, because I think Heartland has done a very good job with the whole storyline of Amy losing Ty, and how she's coping and slowly moving on. And I don't know, I thought that was very special.
Yeah, and those kinds of things you never have to share, but she chose to, and I think it touched a lot of people. I was like just sitting there, jaw dropped, and then when she said that Heartland really did it well, and it's like and it just kind of forget for a minute, like people actually go through this stuff.
It's not just TV; it's what's happening out there.
So yeah, thank you for sharing, and I will read her comment. Love the episode. Michelle has done a phenomenal directing job with the last two episodes. I really loved the Amy Spartan scenes. The ending was shot beautifully with Amy looking forward to a beautiful future. Team Finn. I think so too. The bar scene was great, but I was hoping Amy would grab a cue stick and beat the boys. I love how awkward Fred is around Lou, and now she has saved his life twice. Mayor Fleming to the rescue. I see many storylines for season 16. Amy, Sam, Finn, love triangle, Jack and Al's feud causing issues with Amy Finn.
And then Barb said, okay, I'm not going to lie, watching muscular lumberjacks makes me happy. I think a lot of people could relate.
It was like Magic Mike. Magic Mike or something.
With the Heartland twist.
Yeah.
I like this episode. It was fun to watch. I love the teasing moments with Amy and Lou. Love that Amy went as third wheel. I really didn't see that coming. Okay, also wanted to mention quickly, because when we saw the preview, we were like, okay, who's that girl Caleb's talking to? And we were like, is it Amy? Oh. And we were like, why would she be at a bar?
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes. Okay.
The Garland brothers are obnoxious, but makes it fun. Would have loved to see Amy play some pool, but just happy to see her having fun and smiling. I just wish Jack didn't hold grudges the way he does, but good storyline for the future. And fingers crossed emoji. Tim beating the younger guys might be a stretch. And the crying laughter emoji. Lastly, love the closing scene with Amy riding bareback on Spartan and heart emoji.
How did Tim beat Sam? I'm sorry, but what?
Yeah, that man is made of muscle.
Yeah, he's like the Rock. So, anyways, Alberta dreams. All of a sudden, the boys are back. Amy, be careful. That thin guy I liked, and it took the show 15 years to show us some real farrier labor, lol. It was nicely done, though. I am glad he could help Spartan and give him some relief to his pain. The grandpa-to-grandpa scenes were interesting, and I was surprised about the history both men share. Nothing good, obviously. I feel like this was not the end of that story yet. I would definitely be okay with that. They should continue that storyline, and I'd like to see Finn around more often. The Lou and Fred storyline. Sorry, but please stop. Freddie, go on your own way and let Lou be. There is no way he will ever gonna fix what has went wrong so far. Ha ha. By the way, we don't need more Fred scenes. What's the point about him? Can we just fill that time with more useful stuff, like bring Jack and Lisa back? She could have been there this episode. That would have made it even more interesting. That's all from me.
Yeah. And then Jenna said, I really enjoyed the episode. It didn't feel like it was 40 minutes long. I really enjoyed the way it was lit and more scenic shots. I love seeing Spartan and Amy and the connection that's been there since season 1. I enjoyed Finn. It will be interesting to see if him and Amy cross paths again, even just as friends, since Amy literally has none. Lou and Fred are Grinch-worthy, and I kind of don't like the scenes of Lou saving him. Garland and Mitch were in business together, and Fred brought up the wedding previously. Just gives me an uncomfortable feeling. Jack and Al's conflict was interesting, but I felt like it could have been a deeper problem instead of just about Lindy, but we might still learn more about it. Tim winning the lumberjack competition was comical. Yeah, comical. Close. I suppose, but I don't think it was believable. Jessica and Tim are now stable in episodes, but the ending, little makeout, and then chilly emojis. Can't forget about Caleb. It was nice to see him out and hanging with Sam, he and Amy having a little moment. The support Caleb has given Amy sure makes me love that goofy cowboy. Then when the few seconds of just Caleb staring down at the pool table, it was clear what came to my mind. Huh? Not clear to me.
Wait, do people actually think Caleb and Amy are going to be a thing? Is that what's happening right now?
No. I mean, we've been joking about the Bachelor thing, but like, no.
We weren't serious.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
I love the emotions this episode brought and the idea of, yeah, Amy loved Ty, but in the future, she's allowed to have hope and maybe even love. She can be allowed to have feelings and maybe even a crush or two. She's a human. Wouldn't want her alone forever. Crazy horse lady. Overall, I like the episode. Probably one of the top 3 of the season.
Next comment, Heartland underscore Lisa BFC. This was a fun episode, which was nice to see. Made me laugh at times, especially Caleb when he sort of gets stuck up that pole. Not a fan of either Garland brother. Quite like the bromance between Sam and Caleb while playing pool. It was also nice when Caleb spoke to Amy about moving on and meeting new people. Loved the shots of when Amy was working with the Clydesdale when we got to see the view from the horse. Those quick flashes of the horse's blurred view helped to tell the story more. Great shots, well captured. I enjoyed looking at the opening scene of Amy and Spartan riding over her and Ty's land when Spartan pulls up at the point. It's like she's on a piece of land that's brought her heartache with lost dreams, with her faithful friend Spartan struggling too. Makes the future seem like nothing to look forward to. Then during the episode, up steps Finn, solves the Spartan problem, and also puts a smile on Amy's face. He encourages her that it's okay to be happy and look forward. The episode ends with Amy again riding over that same piece of land but with Spartan that's back to his old self, and she can smile and pauses and looks over the view. That view makes her smile again. It felt like Finn was the connection to the land and Spartan in that episode that helps Amy look forward again. I hope we get to see more of him. Love, Finn. Ty who?
Wow,
Damn.
brutal. Then JVL Insta1. Great show, guys. Love listening to your perspective about the episodes.
Thank you.
This episode, in my opinion, was immensely boring. I thought the lumberjack competition would be more fun and have more screen time. There was no X factor in the episode. They need to come up with better ways of creating conflict in the episodes because the Jack Al conflict was stupid. Tim and Jessica have had amazing scenes together. It makes me sad that Jack and Lisa, 15 seasons in, have less than a handful of these amazing scenes. The characters of Jack and Lisa as a couple have been very underutilized, especially as the actors that portray them are the best in the show. And they continue. Amy's life, sad to see. Her character is now not only boring but depressing as well. I don't know if it's a gender thing, but I feel if it was Amy that had passed, Ty would already be in love triangle, getting back into normal life, dating and having companionship. The viewers, it seems to me, want Amy to mourn Ty forever and want her in bondage to him for the rest of her life. It is okay to move on to love someone else, but still hold dear the memory of those that have gone before. How long a person mourns for sure be nobody's business. Whether it's an hour or a century, people can move on when they feel they are ready and not according to what society dictates in their all-knowing superior eyes.
I like that.
Yeah, I was when I first read that comment, I was like, that's an interesting thought about like if Amy had died, like what do you think about that?
I don't know.
I mean, I could see.
I've never thought of it. It would take me. I would really have to think about it because I have never thought of it like that before.
Okay, so I thought about it for a while after reading that, and because I knew we were gonna, read it on the show. When I think about like overall like films and TV shows, like whenever there's a woman, it's almost like this burden for them to carry. Like if a man dies in a war or, if there's an accident or whatever, it's like people judge women more easily when it comes to like moving on.
Agreed.
And then when it comes to guys, and imagine like Ty, with Lindy in this like walking down the block and women just being like, oh, she's cute, like what's her name, and he being like, oh, that's Lindy, and then creating the storyline where maybe a love triangle would form or something like that, like a woman wanting to be Lindy's mother, so to speak, kind of stepping into his life, and then providing that whole family feeling, if you know what I mean. And I think a lot of that is connected to misogyny.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Because it's like women are not allowed to have intimacy
Oh, of
unless
course.
it's like, I don't know, like they're given permission by a man or something.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, or if it's like pre-approved by,
yeah,
you
because
know.
it's like I've seen these comments like Ty would want Amy to move on. It's like, okay, I kind of get what they mean, but at the same, it's like, well, shouldn't she be the one to choose
Right.
that? Because that's her life and that's her like needs and everything. It's
I,
like even in death, like you have to have the permission of a man to move on.
the only other show that I can think of that I've watched where it's been the female that's like a significant character being the female killed off is the show Nashville. I know you've never seen Nashville, have you?
No.
They killed off the main character, like the main love interest of the show lost the female character, and um it was in the same season where they brought in a new love interest.
How was it in Nashville? Like, did was there anything like that
Um
after
There
the
was
loss?
I think they did the grieving process really well, really, really well in Nashville, and even when the new love interest came in, it was a lengthy process before it ever became anything, and there were these moments where the male character would just break down crying and be, like, embarrassed about it
Mm.
around the new person that he was seeing, so it's like but I did find that it came a little fast for the show, but, you're probably right when saying that.
Yeah.
As soon as, like, the wife's dead, "Oh, he's back on the market," like
Yeah, he needs a wife to take care of the house.
Yeah,
Like, I think there's like that kind of old school, like,
yeah.
oh, there needs to be a woman in the house to take care of the kids and cooking and cleaning and all that stuff. I think that's something that it's rooted to kind of.
Okay, yeah. Literally, my grandma died in June.
Mm.
It was probably 2 weeks later, my grandpa was like, "Yeah, I could consider getting married again."
Yeah, I mean, it's like every relationship is so unique. Like you can't, especially like from the outside, like you can't control what happens in those
Yeah.
or like after them or whatever. But I think it's a very interesting point that they brought up. Like I could see Caleb being like, "Come on, Ty, you need to get yourself out there." Like,
True. And I feel like if Amy had friends, they would probably tell her the same. Like, I could see Cass saying, "Well, why don't we go out or whatever?"
yeah.
Wait, who's Cass?
No
Yeah, I don't
idea.
know.
Yeah. What did you think about the episode?
Oh, like, I thought it was great. I liked the horse stuff. I love Finn, and I know I said I didn't want there to be a love interest for at least, like, another season. I lied. I love Finn. I'm all in.
You
Take
didn't,
my money.
yeah, it was like you didn't know what you wanted until you saw it.
Yeah, but I feel like they did it right. I was just also kind of nervous about who they were going to bring in. And I feel like I wasn't sure at first if they were going to push the Sam and Amy thing. And now I kind of see that there is going to be a love triangle soon.
Yeah,
The thing is,
that's
I like Finn and Sam. So I'm like, is this like Peter and Mitch all over again? Or.
okay. So I posted this Instagram story about me having secondhand embarrassment, and you were like, "What is this about?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, it's about the BUP thing, like
Yeah.
what happened in the BUP." But overall, I think that was kind of the like I don't know
Like
what to
the
call it.
plan.
Like the whole reason of me having this anxious feeling was the whole the scenes at the bar, and not just for Fred and Lou, but also because I get this awkward feeling. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, the way a lot of straight couple like start to form, like there's this awkwardness that makes me
Yeah.
so embarrassed for
Yeah.
some reason. Like I keep having this like, oh no, I don't want to watch this makes me
Yeah.
uncomfortable because they're uncomfortable, like
Yeah.
that whole thing. And it's just like Sam was there, like I wasn't sure about the whole thing either, but there were some looks that suggested
Yeah.
maybe there's something going on. And then, you know, I'm not seeing Evan being like in the
Oh,
run
hell no.
for the the bachelor
Yeah.
thing, but like he did check Amy out, like ugh.
Yeah. It's like Chase. What was that smoking
Yeah,
holster you said? Yeah, that's who it
yeah,
reminded me of too.
yeah.
Just
And then there was Finn. So I think personally, I don't see the sparks between Amy and Sam. I could see them
mm,
being friends, but
yeah.
you know, the way they were building it up, like maybe there's going to be something. But I like the, I don't know, like soft approach to Finn. Like he wasn't
Yeah.
like being too much, or like he gave her space, and like I don't know what's gonna come out of that, if ever anything will, but like I just like that there was this understanding between them, because it's like even with Cooper, like he's gone now, but I wonder if they were kind of trying to build something up with
Mm,
him, but then they kind of went like, ah, maybe not.
there's no chemistry whatsoever. I didn't between those
Yeah.
two.
So I don't know. There's a lot of guys around, and just made me uncomfortable because I like we've talked about, like I want Amy to feel like she's in control of what's gonna happen. And yeah, so that made me a little bit anxious. And overall I think, I don't know, the episode was very like masculine, like not
Yeah.
just like with these men, but like the lumberjack thing. And then this Jack and Al thing, like it was interesting that Michelle directed the episode, because it had that Michelle touch that's very like feminine,
Yeah.
like that empathetic look of like these characters. But at the same time, there was a lot of masculine things that I was kind of like, oh, I don't know about this, like the whole Jack Al thing. Like, first of all, it just felt kind of stupid to me, but at the same time, it was kind of like one of those things that we kind of talked about. Lindy was almost like Jack's property that Al was trying to take, and Jack was like, no, no, she was mine. And he was like, no, no, like you didn't have a ring for her, like something like that. So that made me a little uncomfortable, but in a way it was kind of fun episode. But I don't know, I just had this like this, oh
I thought it was so interesting though. I think I'm the only one who's like I straight up didn't see that coming. I know everyone was like, "Oh, I knew it was going to be about Lindy." I didn't. I had no
yeah,
idea. Like I do find it a little childish, but I have this gut feeling there's a little more to it.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping, because when I was trying to figure it out, I was like, okay, maybe there was something else, like
Yeah.
something about the ranch
Yeah.
itself, like maybe he was trying to take over, or maybe he screwed up, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, something bad happened. But like it was kind of like, oh, it's about Lindy, like that's it, like
Yeah.
huh. But I did like the directing. It felt like old Heartland, if that makes sense. And
Yep.
I did like some people say, like I'm glad they had a farrier finally. When Amy said something like, "Oh, my farrier hasn't said anything about that," it's like, "Oh, you have one?" Like I know it's kind of like boring, but I think it fit into the story perfectly, and I think it also showed who Finn as a character is. Like he didn't have to do that, but he wanted to help Amy.
I don't really have any complaints.
Hmm.
I mean, I do. Like, you want to get into it? You want to tell me why Jessica Steen wasn't in it, and then you put Lisa's SUV in, like, I think it was 2 different shots, and I'm like, this hurts. You're just gonna rub salt in the wound?
You're like, she's there, but she's not. She's in the root cellar, I'm telling you.
I'm just don't even talk to me. I'm probably just not even gonna watch it and she's not in it next week because, like, she's just gonna show up in the finale.
I guess so. I don't know. What did you think about the Tim stuff?
I mean, it was kind of outrageous that he beat them. I thought it was funny. I mean, I don't understand why, like Smoke and Holster said, every time like another male is brought up in these straight relationships, they go straight to jealousy.
Yeah, because I wrote down related to that whole masculine macho thing, because it's like, come on, you're married to this woman, and it's like, and you need to show off your like masculinity through this like competition that's all about like lumberjacks
Yeah.
and power and strength and skills and everything like that. So it was kind of like, oh my god, like how old are you?
I know.
But I also loved how Jessica handled it. It was not
Yeah.
like, she was very mature, even, even if that's kind of annoying, because I almost felt like Tim didn't deserve that because he was being so childish.
Yeah, there's really she really puts up with his shit. Like, I just like how they balance each other out.
Yeah. But that ending with them, like another spicy scene this season, like, what is this? Heatland?
Yeah, they're putting Heartland, like, giving a whole new name to the word
Yeah.
Heartland.
What about the Lou stuff, Fred stuff? Like, any
It
thoughts?
it was absolutely humiliating. I feel like after they already tried this once in season 12, like, I feel like that was a sign, like, it's not gonna happen, you know? So it was like, it was really painful, and I don't know why Lou just didn't say no
Yeah.
to begin with, but, like, oh, it was so awkward, and it's like, Fred needs to just go away. I'm so sorry, but, like, ugh.
It's interesting to me that while I agree with that, I also kind of appreciate that they're showing that kind of male character on the show, because that guys like that exist.
Yeah.
And when you think about all the other male characters in the show, like they're very like, ooh, I'm gonna hit you, and I'm very like angry and everything, and he's like, oh boy, here we go, like
Yeah.
very like a nice guy trope, which is not
Yeah.
always a good thing, but I appreciate that they're showing that as well,
Yeah.
because while it's awkward, it's also like, man,
Yeah,
like that exists.
like someone said on Instagram, we need to get him a girlfriend.
And I honestly was shocked when I saw before the episode that they announced that Evan was his brother, because it's like,
Yeah, I didn't see that.
yeah, like completely different kind of
Different team.
characters. Yeah, but at the same time, it was interesting in the sense that we don't have a lot of brothers on the show. I did enjoy the scenes with Amy and Lou, but I also feel like the ending where Fred's kind of like, oh, whoever's in your like radar, like what a lucky guy. I was like, okay, so we don't know for sure if Peter's in the next episode, but he's probably there for the finale. So it's kind of like, I don't think this is necessarily a Lou problem that she has. I think it's a Peter problem, and she needs to see him prove himself to
Mhm.
her. And I think that can't happen if he's not there.
That's
So
what I was afraid of. This was gonna happen, and then Peter's just gonna be gone again. Like, this is what I was afraid of.
yeah, I get that they were trying to help Lou to understand that she's constantly thinking about Peter through like this Fred thing, but I think that's not the problem in the first place. So it's kind of like, okay, this is pointless. Like, you need to talk to Peter and explain your problems with the whole thing and just like deal with that. And he needs to do some work before anything can happen. So I'm nervous that they're not gonna do it
I'm gonna
well.
skip right over all that.
Yeah. But like someone said, I love the way that they showed Butch's like vision and helped the audience to understand what he's going through, because I feel like the horror stuff has been like it's mostly been kind of in the background, and whenever it's been like there's been a horse storyline, it's mostly like it's the owner, not the horse. So this was actual like physical problem that Amy could help with. And I think it went well with, you know, her scenes with Finn. And I like that we saw Amy back in the barn office with the herbs and, you know, trying to figure out what to do with Spartan and, you know, seeing Spartan again. And I expected there to be more like parallels. They were like, oh, I need to retire him, and oh, he's not doing so well, and everything like that. I could see Amy maybe thinking something along the lines of that, but I expected there to be some kind of her coming clean, like, okay, like I'm nervous about Spartan, and working with Butch is really making me face those fears and something like that. But I did like the scenes with Finn, like where she kind of explained Spartan's situation, and then it became, because there was that whole line about taking the blinders off. So it was very Amy like to have the horse storyline, but at the same time her learning something new about herself or like moving forward, and I really like that.
Yeah, agreed. I think that could have been my favorite scene with them in the barn and he's, you know, making a shoe for Spartan, and I liked that. He just seems so sweet and
Yeah.
like understanding.
Yeah. And it's just like when he said like, oh, I saw the sign, like, are you partners? And she was like, oh, he passed away like almost 2 years ago. And he had this like, I'm sorry, but at the same time,
Empathetic.
yeah, it was not too heavy, but it had that hopeful look for the future, and I like that.
Yeah. I think their chemistry works well together. I don't know if like how the casting process works when they're casting a love interest, but they work really well off of each other.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like, okay, so there might be like potential something, but we'll see. Because I think they did the same thing with Kevin. They were like, okay, we'll kind of see what's gonna happen, and same thing with Gabe actually, as well. Like it was meant to be a brief thing, and then it became a bigger thing. Like maybe that's kind of what they're looking into at first before, you know. Moving forward. And I think much like Kevin as Mitch, I think Finn has that Heartland feel. Like he just fits right in. And to me, that's like half of the whole thing. Like if there's gonna be something, like I want it to feel like he's part of that world already almost.
Yeah. I like I'm just really excited that Finn and like between Jack and Al, like I kind of like the connection, and you can see that Jack saw their little connection. So
he was like,
yeah, he was like, oh hell no. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. That storyline is very unfinished. So I was hoping it would continue, but there's only 2 episodes left, so I mean, it would have to continue in the next season, knock on wood.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, I loved Caleb. I don't think they're gonna push that. That would be pretty messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a feeling that Sam's going to become a love interest, like we've already talked about. But like it almost reminds me of Ty and Caleb in season 2.
Yeah. I just feel like if Sam has feelings for Amy, like she might not have romantic feelings for him, and she's kind
That's
of
what
like,
I was
oh,
thinking.
like I'm flattered, but like I'm sorry. I can see that
Yeah.
happening, and if there's going to be something with Finn, I think she's maybe even going to be more focused on him to even notice that Sam's having something for her, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I hope that Finn is in next episode. So, what is happening next episode?
It's
Has-
episode 9, The Long Game, and we're gonna see it on December 12th. And Evan is back.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Okay, so not only is Evan back, Scott is back, Caleb's back, Katie's back.
Let me guess. Everyone but Lisa.
Probably, I don't know. But anyways, the description says Amy enters Spartan into an endurance race after realizing he's not ready to retire. Jack is set on handling an unbroke horse despite the danger. And Lou and Katie reveal hidden feelings while camping.
Okay, so Logan's back.
Yeah, Logan's back. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm worried for Spartan. Like I know
I'm worried for me.
sorry, I have some worry stored for you as well, but
You should be, because I'm going to be a little bit beyond upset if there's no Jisa on Sunday. Okay? I'm just gonna sit in a corner and be sad. Cause like
yeah, because it's like Jack is set on channeling an unbroke horse. Like, why? What's happening?
and
Is
the
he
fact that
gonna?
they haven't even said anything, okay? Why haven't it's been 2 episodes and they haven't even mentioned where she is?
I don't know. The way this season is going, like Tim's thinking he's like 25. Amy's putting or entering Spartan into this race. Jack is channeling a horse that's dangerous. Like, are they all gonna hurt themselves, or one of them is gonna die, or like I don't like this feeling. And then, there's going to be episode 10 and we know something else is happening there as well. Like,
So I can't believe this first time probably ever, I can't remember, that it's been every episode consecutively for a Sunday without a break. The finale is on December 19th,
yeah.
which also happens to be someone's birthday, so that's nice for me. I just don't know how I'm going to react when in the episode airs and they don't mention her again. I don't know. I do not take responsibility for my actions when Sunday comes. I won't, because it's like this is where hashtag where's Lisa? I don't care about Cock. Where's Lisa? She fall in the well because apparently her vehicle was there, so she's there. You just don't want us to see her. I don't know.
Like, not even one line about her. Like,
Not one. One.
Katie was mentioned and she's in Vancouver, but like,
That must be nice. Let's just say I'm going to expect her not to be in it. And then the finale is going to come, which I'm having a panic attack about, because it looks like for the first time in a very long time, we're going to be getting a cliffhanger.
yeah, and maybe even very huge for Lisa. They better hurry up with the season 16 announcement.
You don't understand how stressed I am, okay? You don't. Because not only has a cliffhanger really never happened to Jack and Lisa, this is like important, and there's other factors in the episode that are okay.
Yeah. We were talking about this before the episode, and we were talking about whether you should take Xanax for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna need a Xanax on Sunday night too. And the Sunday after that. You wanna know how bad my stress is about this? I'm breaking out in shingles.
No.
Yeah, I've had shingles before, so I know what it's like when they show up. Like, you get me all excited, and I'm like, this is the season. This is the season that I have lived my life for. She's gonna be in basically every episode.
Mm.
So we get to episode 6, and they're like, huh, gotcha. She's just gonna be gone for 3 episodes and show up in the finale, like, and that's the last episode? And then we don't know if we get a season 16? Like, I'm not okay with this behavior. And the fact that, like, I just need someone to tell me if she's in it, okay?
So
Like,
anyone,
anyone.
3 hours later.
do you want to talk about the giveaway to kind of take you out of this stress and worry? And
We have started our giveaway last podcast episode.
Mm.
There's lots of Heartland stuff in this giveaway that's happening at the end of the month. And how to enter is to follow our Instagram, which is H2HL Podcast. Sorry, I need a drink. I'm for like almost crying.
Water. Mhm.
Hydrate for the tears. So
Yeah.
you enter by following us on Instagram, H2HL Podcast, and then post either a picture or just a screenshot of Spotify or Apple, wherever you listen, or YouTube, and tag us in it, and that's how you get entered. So you can, we've had quite a few entries already, and I like that it's very minimal because it's the people who, you know, actually listen to our podcast, you know, who are entering this, which is what I was hoping for. So we've had some Graham fans come hit us up in the DM. So I don't want to say that I, you know, am a Mother Teresa, but I do think that world peace is possible.
For sure.
So yeah, that's about all I'm gonna say because I'm just gonna cry.
Should we end this episode before you're gonna have a breakdown?
Let me just check my notes to make sure I didn't. I'm debating if I want to tell you this or not. Okay, so your Christmas package is on its way as of today. I finally sent it. Like, so there's good and bad news. The good news is there's insurance in case it gets lost because you never know. The bad news is I even paid extra so it would get to you sooner, but the sooner one is still 8 weeks.
That's soon? Like, it's just weird with the, like, when you sent the socks, it arrived at like a week or whatever it was.
And then I'm debating because I'm like, it might actually get there sooner. Like, I think that's just like possibly probably like the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, because it was like the second most expensive one, so it was like.
I wonder if I need to know what it is.
That's why I'm telling you this, because I'm like, do I have to tell you? And I think I do, because that's not good.
But don't tell me.
No, I'm going to tell you on the podcast, so because it's Heartland related. That's why I was debating whether I want to tell you, or like this episode, or
wait till next episode. If it doesn't come till then, or if it does, I'm gonna unbox it, or whenever.
I know, but you have to know what it is to claim it, though.
But I will text you.
Okay.
Because in case I don't have to know it to claim it.
True, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas?
I might, but like. Yeah.
No, you're gonna. I mean, I'm the crier in our friendship, but this could be it. This could be the icebreaker.
Whoa. Okay, and now you're throwing me off.
Oh, but you can't. So you should. I want you to open it on the podcast. Since it's
yeah.
But you can't open the card on the podcast. Okay.
Okay. If it's gonna make me cry, it's gonna be a lot.
Are you gonna keep in the part where we talk about your package though, just the parts of it, so that? Do
you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep that part in of talking about your package, because then I'm gonna bring it up. Gonna bring it up like next episode or whenever it comes, so then we know what we're talking about.
That sounds so wrong.
Fuck off. Dirty.
It's just like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, when I learn English, like, I have to learn all this like sayings and like slang and all these like, how do people use these in a sentence? And it's like, oh, he has quite a package, and it's like, what is that? Oh, that's what it means. And so my brain is now like wired to think that package can mean quite a few things.
I just really want to tell you what it is, but fine, I'll wait.
You have to.
I mean,
because I want to be surprised if there's even a slightest possibility of me not having to know that before I actually have it in my hands.
okay.
Because I'm the worst when it comes to reacting to surprises.
Oh, I don't care, but like you don't have to react like I would because I'm extra. I just want so that the podcast because it's Heartland related, so might as well put it on the pod. That's all I was thinking. I'm not expecting you to do a performance.
You're like, oh my god!
I told you I'd make you cry.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Oh my god!
oh, I'm like, I can't.
What a fun episode.
Anyways, I think that's our episode for this week.
I can't believe the season's almost done. I refuse to believe there's only 2 episodes.
I can't think of it. Not yet.
Who's directing? Do you know who directs the last block?
Gloria Kim for episode 9 and then Dean Bennett for episode 10.
Oh, I was gonna say. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep. So until next week, keep your nose clean.
And your powder dry.
Yeah. And for Aiden, oh no, Amy.
The things we do for our biggest fans.
Yeah, like, jeez.
Love you, Aiden.
Yeah.